Welcome to the dialogue. This is the Limelight, not the dialogue. My name is Simapolo and welcome to the Limelight. And it is all about a new policy from government that will enforce implementation of no fees policy in all government schools. According to the State Minister for Primary Education, Honorable Maurice Kaduchu, Cabinet last week passed a resolution to implement a no fees policy in all government-founded schools or government-aided schools owned by foundations, including the Catholic Church, missionary schools, and according to government, it is meant to ensure that USE and UPE programs are completely free. Whereas a resolution has been made in cabinet, according to government, this will take effect in the next financial year, and around this time, government will be engaging foundation schools administrations on this matter and doing several of other activities, including putting up policies to support this particular resolution and all that, including even increasing the education budget to cater for capitation grant extended to these schools, and of course looking into the salaries of teachers. But of course this comes at a time when there are serious concerns about high school charges, and even in government-aided schools. This is not about private schools, it is about government-aided schools. And according to government, these government-aided schools have been exploiting loopholes in the policy and slapping exorbitant charges on students as well as parents, which actually undermines the real essence of UPE and USE. We have to ask how this will be implemented, the practicability of this policy, and all those issues. And we have Godfrey Busobozi. He's the chairman of the Coalition of Uganda Private School Teachers, and we will be engaging him in this discussion. Welcome to the Limelight this evening.
Thank you so much, Apollo, and good evening, viewers out there.
Let's go straight to the resolution by Cabinet. What do you make of this resolution?
Well, you are seeking for my opinion. It is a resolution by Cabinet, as you have stated. So what can I say? Cabinet has resolved, and that is it.
Well, there's time now to engage the school administrators to do other reforms, like I said, possibly increasing the education budget and all others. What do you expect then?
Well, this government, to which I subscribe to as a party member of NRM.
No.
I love it so much. However, we have open criticism policy.
Oh,
yeah. And I'm not ashamed, nor will I shy away from speaking the truth. And when I will get such opportunities to talk to the masses outside there, we need to share knowledge such that we can be able to run this country as citizens better. We have a policy of UPE, which is universal primary education. And that universality is free. No money is charged. It is totally paid by the government of Uganda, 100%. Then we have the universal secondary education. Similarly, it is also free no money is charged out of it. So when you tell me that cabinet sat and made a resolution of zero pay, what do you exactly mean?
But me and you know that even if the UPE and USC programs were, moving towards free or zero pay, it is not the case. Schools have been charging exorbitant, fees. It's not a secret.
Then you need to interrogate and find out what went wrong with this policy. Why shouldn't cabinet review the policy other than pass a resolution? Because what is the resolution? Because I'm using your exact English words that you have used. Because when the cabinet resolves, what is it resolving to do? Because I have told you already there is a policy in place. There is UPE and there is USE, then UPOLET.
Yeah.
Now, the policy says zero pay. What has changed? Because when you tell me cabinet resolved, what do you mean? Are they reinventing the wheel?
I don't know, but what I'm saying is real. It's happening. Even in the schools, we know that they have been receiving funding from or aid from government. They have been charging school fees.
Now, to the best of my knowledge, all UPE, USE, and UPOLET schools do not charge school fees. That is a statement of fact. However, I know there are some schools which levy extra costs which are not catered for in the budget of government to run the schools.
Okay.
Because government offers what they call capitation grant. And that capitation grant is divided into, I think, 4 sections, where 35% goes for scholastic materials, I think. Then there is games and sports. Then it is broken down, I think, into 5. I don't have the facts off my fingertips. Now, each section is allocated a percentage.
Okay.
And that capitation grant gets exhausted. And you will be amazed, for primary schools, government contributes 17,000 shillings per child per year.
Which is
I don't
relatively little.
Well, that is according to you. Me, I'm giving you facts. Now, when you get 17,000 shillings per year, you divide that by 3.
3 school terms.
3 school terms. So give me the mathematics. How much does each term translate into?
Less than 6,000.
Now, if it is less than 6,000 shillings per child per term, when does this money come to the school? Is it timely?
So, Mr. Busobozi, you seem to say that there is another problem somewhere.
Absolutely.
And what is that problem?
Now, we have a problem of governance. Governance is a broad word. As we run the affairs of the state, there are challenges which come up. Other than cabinet resolve to say zero payment, it is the responsibility of government to provide education to you and me. Because that is a mandate as mandated by government in law. That is it. I should attend school. But it is your responsibility as a parent to have your child in school.
Okay. Let me get you well. Are you suggesting that instead of coming up with a resolution, government or cabinet or authorities should be addressing the other challenges, not coming up with a new resolution?
You are very right. They should be able to address the underlying factors. You see, this is like, I don't want to say playing politics, but this will not yield results as expected. You are aware we have challenges of enforcement.
Oh, yeah.
Our enforcement arm is still weak. Not weak per se, but because of the society from where we come from. We are who we are. We are all cut from the same stock. In this same aspect of zero pay, the school has not charged money. It is the parents who have come to these schools and they have addressed the gap which is there.
Are they parents who come to these schools and possibly have an agreement with the school administration and later turn around to cry out about the high school charges?
That's not true. They don't turn around to cry about the high school charges. The parents come and agree that, you see, the policy says zero money, but the children have to eat food. And government doesn't want any money to be charged at the school level. And they are saying, let the children pack lunch. I have heard the president say, Baba Siviri Ntanda,
but few
the lunch box. Now,
few really carry food.
You see, times have changed. During our time, we would fold food in banana leaves.
True.
And carry them to go to school and eat. Now, you are talking about the lunch box. Look at it in this society of the 21st century as opposed to the society of the 19th century. So many things have changed.
Oh, yeah.
What kind of family are you referring to pack a lunch? It is not the other defined family which you knew. We have families headed by children.
Yeah, true.
We have families which are almost non-existent.
And others do not have even food to eat at home.
And others don't even have the food to eat at home. Now, you have a challenge at school. You want to have a school run as a school, not for the sake. So you sit with the board of governors, you sit with the management committee and the school administration, and you find a solution. How do we address this?
Mr. Busobozi, are you suggesting that the resolution that was made by cabinet is unrealistic?
Not unrealistic. It is a realistic resolution, but it is redundant.
What's the difference?
The difference is, it is like when you preach to a convert. Somebody is already converted, and you keep preaching.
But he or she is converted, but she or he is not putting into practice what is in policy and on paper.
No, they are putting into practice what is on policy and what is on paper. Because you see, going to school is not just a matter of going to school. You just don't go there. You have got these other things which facilitate learning to take place. I have told you, for instance, if you have not released the capitation grant on time, and the school has no chalk, tell me, what have the children got to do at school?
They have limited choices.
You understand? So what do you do as a manager?
So according to Honorable Maurice Kaduchu, all foundation schools which will fail to implement this policy will actually suffer withdrawal of all funding, all aid from government, including laboratory equipment that have been that are being provided by government, including capitation grant and everything. What do you think that in itself means?
Me, I'm a realist. Government withdrawing assistance from these schools can be done. Does that one mean that the schools will collapse?
Are you suggesting even if government withdraws all the assistance it has been giving these government-aided schools, they will still stand and still move on?
They will run as private entities because they are not government schools, they are only government-aided.
Oh.
Yes. So what will be the difference? Will now the government be able to meet its obligations of providing education to its citizens? So does it mean that therefore government is abdicating its responsibility of having its citizens attend school? We need to be sober and we address these things realistically.
You're suggesting the whole initiative is a futility.
It is not a futility. What government needs to do. But you see, I've told him I'm a realist. We have challenges of the budget. We are a poor country. We don't have the money. However, we need to work within the available parameters. Because I have heard the president complain, and one time he asked, should we abolish UPE and USE?
Yeah, if it is not working.
If it is not working, because parents can afford to pay. And the answer came out, and it was a unanimous no, that let us continue running UPE and USE. But his concern is the children of the poor do not attend school because some of these charges inhibit their attendance of school.
And UPE and USE were all introduced to help the poor access education.
Now, I will ask, is it true that because of zero pay, these children don't attend school? Because now, remember the major concern earlier on had been uniform. I have been following, because the president was suggesting what matters is for this child to go and attend school. But again, when you realistically address these concerns, we should not raise a laissez-faire society. People must have responsibility. You gave birth and produced children. Why are we tagging our parents as poor parents?
But we have poor.
How do you define?
Families.
How do you define? How do you define poor?
Many poor people middle class.
So define for me what you talk when you say of poor.
Who cannot
What's
afford?
the definition?
Who cannot afford education? Who cannot afford the basics in life? There are very many.
What do you mean? Do you have the statistics?
Yeah, the statistics have been all
Now
over.
tell me, how many people in Uganda live below
The poverty
the
line.
poverty line? Tell me.
The statistics of course change, but I think now we are around 20%.
What do you mean 20%?
Now,
Now, if we are 40 million people, what is the 20% of 40 million? Then you tell me.
are you suggesting there are no poor people in this country
Now,
who cannot afford
the word
basics?
poor is relative.
Yes.
Because people must be taught responsibility.
Oh.
If you fathered, if you mothered, for whom did you mother or father this child?
Don't you think there are people who understand their responsibilities as parents but are not able to take their kids to school?
Yes, because they want to take their child where they don't fit.
Oh.
Because we have levels. There are those schools which are very affordable, where you will go to school and negotiate with the headmaster and say...
Finally, in just 1-2 minutes, you as a stakeholder in this industry,
Yes.
what could be your recommendations in this case?
There are 3 recommendations I would give. 1, let the government of Uganda increase its budget funding for education,
Yeah, true.
such that there is relatively enough money, I'm using that word on purpose, to be able to run the affairs of the school. That is 1. Number 2, let the parents be involved in the affairs of the day-to-day running of their schools.
Okay.
Because government is you and me. You do not abdicate. These are not the president's children. These are children of the parents.
Recommendation number 3.
Recommendation number 3. Please let the inspectorate arm of government be funded enough such that they are able to do support supervision and keep improving so that we can have the better education system that is running for the betterment of this country.
Without those 3, you suggest this is an exercise, an initiative in futility.
Of course, it cannot work. It can only be on paper. If they go ahead and continue to implement it, it will have a comeback. You know, for every force that you apply, there is always an equal reaction.
Yes, true.
So we need to handle it with seriousness if we are going to address issues of education in this country, especially if we are looking at improving the quality. But if the money remains the way it is just rhetoric, and you call me here, we talk, and we have an evening, and that's it.
Thank you so much, Godfrey Busobozi, the Chairman Coalition of Uganda Private School Teachers. I am Simapol and we wait to see how this will actually pan out. Government is insisting, and on the other side, it is almost the same with the private schools. They are still engaging them on how they can work out the way of reducing or mitigating the concerns of high school charges. But now we are talking about government schools. We wait to see how it will work out. They say they are going to engage. They will let them engage, and then we hope for the best. My name is Simapolo. Let's catch up again next Friday in the newest edition of the Limelight. Good evening and a good weekend.